Radio Jengalo, restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. Good afternoon. With the main news, I'm Patrick Mupeta. The headlines: CEC unionized workers in 40% pay rise. GBV cases among spouses worries YWCA. And former international Laughter Chilembi says the current crop of Chipolopolo players lack experience. Government has awarded health workers an 8% rise for 2021 following the conclusion of the collective bargaining for improved conditions of service. Union General Secretary Lewis Mukosha disclosed in a statement that the agreement has seen the introduction of the infectious health care risk allowance at the rate of 2% of one's basic income. Mr. Mukosha explained that during the engagement, the union managed to address the unfreezing of 12,000 positions of health workers for promotion and employment, provision of uniforms and other protective clothing, and that government will pay health workers owed in terms of settling allowance as well as long service bonus, among other issues. He, however, revealed that the road in the signing of the agreement was challenging as the country had a huge financial debt in form of Eurobonds and other macro and micro hurdles the country was facing. In a related development, unionized workers at Copperbelt Energy Corporation, CEC, has been awarded a 14% salary increment across the board after one-day negotiations between the Mine Workers Union of Zambia, MOVES, and management on Monday this week. Speaking during the signing ceremony last evening, MOVES President Joseph Chewe said he was pleased that the negotiating team managed to clinch the pay rise for all unionized workers despite the many challenges the company was going through. Mr. Chewe added that it was also gratifying that CEC did not hide behind the effects of COVID-19 as an excuse not to improve the workers' conditions of service. And CEC employee numeration and relations Grayson Simakolau said management recognizes the role workers play towards enhancing the company's productivity. The increase in the cases of gender-based violence, especially among married couples, has unsettled the Young Women Christian Association YWCA on the Copperbelt. Association Regional Coordinator Sharon Mambo said it is unfortunate that there was an increasing trend of murder and assault incidents, among others. Speaking to Radio Chengolo News today, Ms. Mambo observed the need to raise awareness on the vice as the country continues to observe 16 days of activism against GBV.
Experiencing in the past months is what I can call anxiety, because we've seen an increase and the multitude of assault, pain, and harm is something that we've never experienced. We've seen people resorting to killing, axing each other, burning each other, setting each other ablaze, which we've never witnessed before. So we are saying the mode of violence that is coming on board is threatening.
Caritas Zambia Chingola District Coordinator Eugene Mlengas called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ to consider extending the ongoing mobile voter registration exercise. The mobile voter registration exercise began on November 9 and will come to an end on December 12, 2020. Speaking to Radio Chengolo News in Chingola, Mr. Mlenga reiterated that the period should be extended due to some of the concerns stakeholders have raised about the exercise. He also expressed doubt that the Commission may not capture the targeted 9 million voters if the issues being raised being raised concerning the exercise are not looked into. In another development, Zambia's ambassador to Nigeria, Solomon Jerry, has challenged Zambians living in the diaspora to register as voters. Dr. Jerry, who is currently in Zambia to register as a voter, told Radio Chengelo News that Zambians living abroad must take voter registration seriously.
Once we register, and so that we vote on the 12th of August, we cast our votes and we vote satisfactorily to make sure that our votes are not wasted.
Chililabombwezi Yotamule Award Councillor Lazarus Kansa has implored residents to refrain from dumping waste in drainages. Councillor Kansa regretted that some residents in his ward are fond of throwing garbage in drainages, especially during the rainy season. Councillor Kansa spoke to Radio Chengelo News in Chililabombwe.
2019-2020, we experienced a lot of rains which damaged our houses through floods. Most of our houses were flooded. We don't want this to happen again. To prevent this from occurring, let us stop throwing cabbages in our drainages, as this act causes blockages of these facilities. It is our responsibility to see that we keep our premises clean and green.
Pope Francis says Catholics are called to be God's people and not God's elite. According to the Catholic news agency, Pope Francis stated in a video message that God asks believers to be his people. Addressing judges belonging to the recently formed Committee for Social Rights of Africa and America via video message, the Pope added that those who truly sought social justice did not regard themselves as enlightened elite. Let's move to football. Former international defender Lafta Chilembi says the current Chipolopolo squad lacks experience. Zambia is struggling to qualify to the 2022 Africa Cup after recording a 3-1 in the qualifiers. Chilembi said the national team should have both experienced and junior players to perform well in future games. He has told Radio Chengelo Sports that national team coach Mitchell should consider recalling the likes of Renford Kalaba, Kennedy Mwene, and Stofela Nsunzu.
We've got senior players who are out of the country, but what has happened is this and this and this. And if they are indisciplined somewhere concerning ground better, by big players, you know, team, join a Zambia national soccer team. Players, big players like the Great Kalu, the Light Alitana, Dennis Lota. But to encourage so football.
This news broadcast comes to you in the community service of Radio Chengelo with compliments of Mos Mailing and Zambia Catholic University, and now the international news as monitored from the BBC. Police in Nigeria's Ogun State have arrested 2 suspects at a baby factory run by a woman who was released on bail. The state police spokesperson Abibola Oyeyemi said a girl who had been lured by the 2 baby factory operator escaped and reported the matter to the police. Officers raided the premise and rescued 10 girls, with 4 of them already pregnant. One of those arrested, a daughter of the woman running the facility, who was charged with human trafficking and released on bail. The other suspect is a physically challenged man who police suspect could be responsible for impregnating the girls. Britain has become the first country in the world to approve the widespread use of the coronavirus vaccine. Hugh Penn reports.
Vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech were unveiled in early November, showing that it was 90% effective and more so among the over 65s. But then it was over to international regulators to assess the results and safety issues. The British regulator, the MHRA, has become the first to give approval, and that paves the way for the vaccine to be shipped from Pfizer's Belgian plant and distributed from next week. Because it has to be stored between -70 and -80 degrees, there are logistical challenges. So hospitals are set to be the first sites to administer the jabs to staff and patients.
Let's take a look at our last story on our main news. A U.S. state of Georgia election official has said President Donald Trump will bear responsibility for any violence that results from unsubstantiated election fraud claims he has stopped. In a fury statement, Gabriel Sterling, a Republican, said it's all gone too far and it had to stop. Georgia is carrying out a second recount of votes in the state at the Trump campaign's request. Democratic President-elect Joe Biden was declared the narrow winner there. We now end Radio Jingla main news by taking another look at our headlines. CEC, unionized workers in 14% pay rise. GBV cases among spouses worry YWCA. And former international Lafta Chilembi says the current crop of Chipolopolo players lack experience. So for these and more stories, you can visit our Facebook page. Log on to Facebook and like the Radio Chinglo page and link to radiochinglo.radio12345.com. You can also still listen to the rebroadcast of the news on our YouTube channel. Also listen to us on Radio Garden. Remember to play your part in the fight against coronavirus pandemic by adhering to the safety guidelines as outlined by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. Wear a mask when in public, avoid large groups and maintain social distance. Avoid unnecessary movements. Wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds. This has been Patrick Mpeta with the main news. Thank you very much for your time.